Hello, my name is Kelly Sherron, and I'm your student's U.S. History teacher this year. So for our course, a little bit about me. This is my 10th year in education. This is my 8th year teaching. I moved from North Carolina in 2018, where I taught high school. This is my 3rd year in North Shore. I was a long-term sub at Leota for a bit, and I subbed in a couple of the different schools in the district. I was in Edmonds School District for half of a year teaching middle school, and this is my 4th year in Washington. My undergraduate degree is from Elon University, which is a small school in North Carolina, and then I have my master's in teaching from UNC Charlotte. In U.S. history this year, these are the topics that we will learn about. Right now we're on the U.S. Constitution. We should be wrapping that unit up next week. Then we'll move into the Gilded Era and the Progressive Era. We'll talk about imperialism, the 2 world wars, the 20s, the Great Depression. Last year we ended with the Vietnam War. I'm hoping we do end up getting a little bit further along this year. We should be able to, since we're in person versus just having those 2 virtual classes a week like we did last year. Schoology will be where all of our assignments are posted, where students will submit work unless they're submitting some kind of physical paper. And if they submit work on Schoology, that will be where they get feedback via their grade, comments, things like that. Student View I'll try to sync the 2 as often as I can. Student View will have some assignments that may not be posted on Schoology, like hard copy assignments, like the 9/11 interview that we had earlier this week. The grade is posted on Student View, but it's not on Schoology because it was a hard copy. Current event quizzes that we do, the grades will be posted on Student View, and your student's final grade come the end of the semester and the end of the year will be on Student View. Schoology is the main way that the district wants us to communicate with students. And this is just an example of what our page will look like. I know this is for one of my civics classes, but it'll be the same idea where U.S. history and civics both had this unit 0 the first about 2 weeks of school, where we were doing kind of basic returning to school after possibly 18 months of being away, talking about 9/11. For U.S. history, this would say Unit 1 Constitution, and then within that there's a notes folder where I post all of our notes from each class period, and then there's an assignments folder as well. So it's fairly easy to navigate and find what they're looking for. And then as we continue to add units, so the next one would be the Gilded Era, I'll put it at the top here. So then it would say Unit 2, Gilded Era / Progressive Era, and I'll change the color of the previous unit to black so they can see. It's fairly easy to understand what unit we're on. Types of assignments we will have tests, but they'll be open notes, and they'll be able to talk with their peers in class about the questions. They won't be able to use the internet for those. We do have quizzes as well. We have current event quizzes every Friday, where we talk about the current events throughout the week. There may be some current events pop up on the quiz that the students don't mention, but they are encouraged to check the news each day, especially the New York Times. You can click on today's paper and see what the top headlines are. The questions that are on their current event quizzes will never be like obscure topics. They'll always be major events that are happening. We'll have writing assignments and then some discussion posts on Schoology as well. So ways that you can help your child succeed. Check in about due dates. Schoology has a calendar feature where you can see when assignments posted on Schoology are due. I have a section in my rooms where I post due dates for our assignments if they're hard copies of things as well. Talk to them about what we're discussing in class. I try really hard with U.S. history to make it applicable to their lives and make it interesting. So hopefully there will be information that they can share that they think is really interesting and they want to pass it on to you as well. And then just reminding them the importance of staying focused in class. It is a transition. Again, some students haven't been in person for 18 months, and especially our block days, it's a long time to be sitting and doing school. So it might be difficult for some students to get used to that. Oh, and that should say contacting me. This is my email. This is the best way to get a hold of me. Those are our contracted hours. I do coach cross country and track as well in the fall and the spring. So after school, I'm usually hustling down to the field. So I may not be able to respond immediately after school, but I do check my email at home as well, not consistently. So I tell students, if you have questions about assignments and things like that, email me, and I hopefully will check and see their email. If it's something more detailed, like a question about a grade and why it's not showing up in student view, I may wait until the following Monday to really look into it. And then, yes, with the exclusion of holidays, I don't check my email as often as on weekends as well. And then why I teach, why I'm here. Like I said, this is my 10th year. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't really love it. Especially high schoolers, I love getting to work with them as they're transitioning into like truly adulthood and going out into society and determining what they want to do with their life, whether it's go on to college and study for what their future career is going to be, if it's just working and going out and starting an apprenticeship, or maybe they're not certain what they want to do and still taking some time to kind of figure that out. And a lot of the skills that we work on in class, I'm more concerned about them knowing how to do things like think critically and communicate. And that's why part of the reason why our tests are open notes and they can talk to their peers, because I think that helps facilitate those skills better than just multiple choice, fill in the blank, things like that. Oh yes, feel free to email me if you have any questions, and hopefully we will be able to meet in person at some point.